And welcome to the Barry Foster Show, coming to you from the Ridge Floor Studios in the City of Charm, beautiful downtown Avon Park. As always, if you have any thoughts, ideas, or suggestions, please put them in the comments below. We're always glad to hear the things that you would like to hear us talk about, or the people you'd like us to interview. We're always glad to hear about that. Some good news is before we get to number one, my wife Sandra's here. Say hello, Sandra.
Hello, Sandra.
There we go. And a couple of good things. Number one, I want to thank everybody who has been watching and listening, because we have now topped 5,000 views, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot, but it's a lot for me. You know, we got up over 5,000 views of our videos. We have over 100 of them up. We've been doing this since really late April, early May. Try to be consistent, try to have something up every weekday. So I'm very, very happy to have over 5,000 views. We're headed towards 1,000 subscribers. We're getting closer every day. And we really appreciate all the people who like and subscribe. I want to also thank our friends at Ridge Florist, who have been sponsoring us since before the beginning. And now we may have a new sponsor coming on board. And yes, we might have a new sponsor coming on board. So we're moving forward. And if you would like to get in touch with us, you can either put in comments below or send us an email at thebarryfostershow@gmail.com. We've had a lot of good response to the Florida Fun travel segments that we do, and people have been saying that they go to the places that we've been to, and they've asked us about Port 27 up there in Lake Hamilton, Florida. They've asked us about going to Vero Beach. They've asked us about some of the other places. This time we thought we'd talk to us about some of the places that were a little bit closer to us. And I'd like to talk first about the Bagel Bar, which is in Avon Park on Main Street. The first time we went there, they were closed. They decided to close on Mondays. In late August, they decided to close on Mondays. And so we went up there, and sure enough, on the first Monday they were closed, we were there. But we came back again, and it was pretty good stuff.
For people who like bagels and a handheld breakfast, it works out perfectly. They also have some sweet treats there, like rolls with powdered sugar and that kind of icing on them.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's New York style bagels, and I guess that the New York style bagel has some kind of allure, but they have like plain bagels, everything bagels, Asiago cheese. That's the kind I got the second time, but they have a pumpernickel Tuscan pizza, onion, cheddar jalapeno. Well, might be a little spicy for me. Sesame seed, French toast, blueberry, apple, cinnamon crumble. And they even have gluten-free, if you'd like a gluten-free bagel. But you can get them about any way you want to. Both times I got them, the first time I got a plain bagel with what they call a BEC, bacon, egg, and cheese. But the second time I got it with the Asiago cheese, I liked it a lot better with a custom bagel. So,
well, the first time I got the bacon, egg, and cheese plain bagel also, but this time I decided that I didn't want bacon on it, which is rare.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the cheese bagel, and I had cheese and egg, which turned out to be nice. It's quite a lot of bread. It's a big handful sandwich.
Oh yeah, it's a bagel, so there is quite a lot of bread. And you can get it as a sandwich or open faced, like they have one they call it the hipster, and it's an everything bagel with guacamole, crumbled bacon, drizzled with balsamic glaze, and everything bagel seasonings, which I don't know what that is because I'm not quite that adventuresome yet. But you can get breakfast bagels, and they also have lunch bagels. One, if you're a very adventurous type person, you might get the Hell's Kitchen bagel, which is an open face cheddar jalapeno bagel with cheddar cheese, crumbled bacon, shredded cheese, a drizzle of grape jelly. They call it the perfect popper. You can make it extra hellish by switching to jalapeno cream cheese if you'd like some of that too. A little spicy for me myself, but it's an interesting thing. Avon Park is really not known for New York style things, so it was interesting to me to see that they had a New York style bagels, but they were pretty good.
Well, I asked which one of them was from New York, and they said none of us. We all grew up locally, and so I guess they just chose the New York because they found it to be intriguing to a lot of people.
Yeah. When the whole to do about Cracker Barrel flared up, I contacted them. I said, "You know what you ought to do?" And they said, "No. What should we do?" I said, "You ought to have a cracker bagel." And I suggested just the regular bagel and maybe just drizzle it with something like barbecue sauce. I don't know, but they never went with a cracker bagel. But if you are from Avon Park, you know that their high school team is nicknamed the Red Devils, and they do have the Red Devil Kickin' Chicken Sandwich, which is a spicy chicken patty on a bagel with your choice of cheese, lettuce, tomato, pickles, mustard, and mayo. So, and they have a little emoji devil and it says "Go Big Red." So they do have. If you are a Red Devil supporter, you can get the what do they call this thing? The Red Devil Kickin' Chicken Sandwich, if you want to do that.
Well, I noticed they had salads also at lunchtime, and it looked like they had a nice lunch menu there. The main thing this time, though, you got the strangely warm coffee. Before, when we went, we just got that and took them with us, which we had our own strangely warm coffee from home. You had the regular dark roast Peruvian coffee, and I had the decaf. And since they don't have the strangely warm decaf coffee, this time you got the coffee, but I didn't get coffee.
Yeah, it was interesting because we started talking about strangely warm because of course that's our coffee of choice, and they said, "Oh yeah, well we have that." I said, "Oh really?" And they said, "Yeah." So we went over and took a look, and sure enough, they had it. So I had some of the, and that what they had was the Peruvian blend, But now, if you're not a bagel fan or if you're looking for dessert, they do have cookies. They have chocolate Butterfinger cookies. They have cookie dough cookies. They have also all kinds of cinnamon rolls there. It's kind of a calorie delight if that's the kind of thing you like. But it's nice. One of the things that we did this time that we didn't do the first time we went is they have a little screened in porch in the back, and the first time it's just too hot. It was too hot. But this time it wasn't too bad. We went out and sat in the back porch back there. They have a big mural of New York with the Statue of Liberty, and it says Bagel Bar. And they either encourage or tolerate you to write graffiti on this. And I saw like the Avon Park cheerleaders had written some graffiti and some hearts, Betty loves Jimmy or whatever, they had some hearts and that kind of stuff. I was going to put a unashamed advertisement for the Barry Foster Show on YouTube, but I did not do that because I didn't have a good marker. But
well, it is a nice little patio, and as the weather gets cooler, and early in the mornings, I'm sure it's nice out there now. But
it faces to the east, so you get a chance to watch the sun come up. But yeah, we had some good coffee and some good bagels. We brought our own special creamer because we used leaner creamer, which is a coconut based kind of. It's supposed to be good for your memory. I shudder to think what my memory if I didn't have it. But it's a fun little place.
Well, one of the things that I noticed inside, they have a big poster of the New York skyline,
Mm-hmm.
and from the 1930s, I think it said it had a picture of the steel workers on a beam sitting there having lunch. It was very interesting. Some of them had, one or two of them had no lunch or bag with them. Um, Most of them had different kinds of bags and different kinds of sandwiches in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
One guy was sitting there with looked like a liquor bottle in his hand, and I thought, being up that high, I would probably need some medication in order to allow me to want to be up there. But I knew that there was some Native American tribes that had specialized in the high steel work.
Mm-hmm.
And so while we were sitting there, I took an opportunity to look at it on the internet and refresh my memory. And so it is a very interesting thing to check out. It was the Navajo Indians that had a group, and they even ended up with an area in Brooklyn where a large group of these families lived. So there's a bit of history on the wall in there if you're standing around waiting for your order.
Yeah, one of the Indians said, "We're also afraid. We just handle it better." You know, I suppose I don't like to be up. I wouldn't want to be up as high as they were up there, sitting on a beam having lunch. I mean, that's fine for them, but I couldn't do it. It's right there as you come down Main Street. It's right at the corner of Anoka Avenue, and it shares a building with the Tasmania Beauty Salon. So if you're driving in the City of Charm, it's just up the street, as a matter of fact, from our studios on Main Street there. So,
and we did notice quite a few people coming in to get to go breakfast, and so that was nice.
and one of the guys had a phone order. You know, he said, "Do you have a phone order?" I'd step out of the way so he could pay his bill, take his bag, and go. There was a lot of grab and go going on there. So, but it's a fun little place.
Yes,
it's a fun little place. Another place that we stopped that we've been to many times in the past is down in Sebring. It's a Japanese restaurant called the Cang Tong restaurant, and I don't know, we've been there many, many, many times.
I would call it more an Asian instead of just a Japanese.
Well, they advertise themselves as Japanese, although they have Japanese and Chinese.
They have a nice typical menu for an Asian type place. And I had never been there all the years I'd lived in Sebring until our friends Beth and Ed invited us to go out to eat, and that was the place of choice. And from that time on, we had been there 2 or 3 times with Beth and Ed.
Well, if you're a sushi person, see, we're not really seafood people. We like to go to the sea. We like to go to the Atlantic. We like to go to the Gulf. We just don't eat the stuff that's in the in the water. But we like to go and like enjoy. But if you're like a sushi person, they have all kinds of seafood, and they have sushi rolls. They have tuna tartare and steak tartare if that's your thing. But you want an avocado roll or a seaweed roll or a Japanese pickle roll, any of that kind of stuff. They do a really good job, and they also have, if you like the old Benihana where they would chop stuff up and put on a little show. You know, they have the sushi bar there where you sit around the bar, and they either give you sushi or cook stuff right in front of your eyes. They chop it all up and make it, and the chef. They had one guy, I think he's retired and moved on, but he would come out with a ukulele and he'd sing a little song, and he'd flip shrimp into your mouth and that kind of thing. So if that's the kind of if you like that entertainment with your meal, they also have that there. We've sat in our little booth and watched it go on. We never participated in that.
Well, the thing that I usually enjoy, of course, it's comfort type things because I've had it more than one time, is their combination dinners where you have a egg roll and soup,
Mm-hmm.
and
then your entree then.
and yes, and I always like the hot sour, I think they call it. Anyway, it's a hot soup. And you usually
I get the 1-ton soup, the 2,000-pound soup, 1 ton. I told that to the waiter. He didn't get the joke. But I'm a creature of habit. I like to get the dinner entree because you get both the egg roll and the soup that goes with it.
And you can get that at lunch, and we were there at the lunchtime, so we got the dinner order so that we could have both the soup and the egg roll. But there are quite a lot of combination of choices there, and because I lean more toward vegetables, I was basically looking for just the broccoli, and I could probably have asked and gotten that, but I got the broccoli beef, and it was not up to what I really had wanted. I also asked for the white steamed rice instead of the fried rice, and I was assured that I could have it, but when my order came, it was the fried rice, and so I was a little disappointed in that. But I love the sweet sauces to go with my noodles and to go also with my egg roll.
Yeah, well, the kid that waited on us, he was a nice kid, wonderful kid. I asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, and it was not a waiter, and I can see why. I'm sure he has a great future doing something else, and he seemed to be a very responsible young man. Goes to local college, and has a profession out in line for him. But he was really hard. Didn't get the menu right. We asked for. Usually they bring you this little bowl of crispy noodles to kind of keep you busy until you're. And we had to ask him a couple of times for that. Sandra ordered tea, and it wasn't hot, and so they sent it back, and it came out, and it still wasn't hot. So I mean, one would think normally they'd at least throw it in the microwave, do something to punch it up a little bit, but it was.
Well, if you're a hot tea drinker, the water has to be hot. The tea doesn't really diffuse very well in lukewarm water. So that was a disappointment.
And now I usually get the vegetable delight. It's gotten to the point where just mostly in restaurants, I don't trust the meat. I don't care if it's pork or chicken or beef or whatever. I just don't. So I've gone to mostly getting the vegetable delight, and this time, I got she didn't get the white rice. I got the brown, like it normally comes with it, the refried, and it had a little tang to it, like somebody had used utensils that they'd used some. They have some pretty hot stuff there, okay, General Tao's chicken and all that kind of stuff. And it tasted like there may have been something used. I got a little bit of, wasn't really bad, wasn't really spicy, but there was some spice to it. There's a little bit of kick to it, which I wasn't used to. It was good. Because we have not been there where the food hasn't been good. But, I mean, you want chicken chow mein, they've got that. You want the Kung Pao chicken, they've got that. You want the Mugu Gai Pan. I mean, all the traditional things they have, and if you want some entrees like a New York strip or a filet mignon, you can get those there too. But it is a nice little place that I enjoy going. It's kind of like a break from fast food or some of the other busier restaurants, and we always usually sit in a booth, and it kind of pulls us away from the traffic that comes and goes. But it definitely has been a place we've enjoyed in the past. This time it was just a bit of a disappointment for me. Well, it's clean and it's elegant and it's quiet. It's not loud. We have been in some Chinese places which were not as clean and not as nice and not as good. And if you want Chinese or Japanese cuisine, you can't do much better than the Cang Tong. One other place that we went, we had a chance to do a. Should we tell them about the motorcade we did? Yeah. We had a little motorcade. The first one was for Donald Trump. The second one was going to be Trump 2.0. But after the events earlier this month, it morphed out to be a faith, family, and freedom event for Donald Trump and for Charlie Kirk. And it was a nice motorcade. We went from Avon Park all the way down Lake Placid, and we got done. A lot of us decided we were going to go to about a little bit more than half of us who were involved went to the GC Grill. It used to be a Golden Corral, but it became a GC Grill, and that's a lot of fun. And one of the few remaining buffets, I think, in Christendom after the pandemic.
Well, that was one thing that they did. The owners of that restaurant, like the classic American way, during the COVID era, they came up with the idea of it's a combination of, and I think at that time they even had like almost sack lunches. You could get your menu preferences and they would put them in a bag. But they've come out with a combination now of a nice salad and soup bar.
Yeah.
And then you can order off the menu. They have fried chicken and a lot of different all steak options and stuff. But it still is a nice little option to have a great soup and salad bar that is kind of an all-you-can-eat type thing. And, of course, the rolls. And they're smart enough to wait till their rolls rise. And we have been
their rolls were good.
We have been to some steakhouses where they have not let them rise. And that kind of defeats the purpose with rolls for me.
It was about 30 years ago that Mark Tharp started the Golden Corral down there in Lake Placid. Then later on, as Mark got older, he turned it over to his son, Ray. Ray did a great job. And last time we found out that they've just sold the place. And there's new owners there. And they were a traditional Golden Corral for many, many years until after the pandemic, when they ceased being a traditional Golden Corral kind of buffet and went to this modified version called the GC being Golden Corral, GC Grill House. And I mean, they have some real traditional Southern fare there. You want a gator tail for appetizers, you can get that. You want fried okra, fried pickles, you can get that too. You know, they've got all that kind of stuff, and plenty of salads. Whether it's a Caesar salad, steakhouse salad, chicken and strawberry salad, you can get those kinds of things, and all kinds of pasta dishes, steakhouse classics. I don't know, and sirloin tips, Bourbon Street chicken. Beef, chicken, even meatloaf, if that's what you're looking for. When we were there, we just went ahead and had the soup and salad, and believe me, there was plenty there.
When there's a large crowd like that, it just made it very easy and I think everybody that was in the group ordered the soup and the salad.
Yeah, why not?
And as you say, it was plenty enough food. They had some great choices at the soup bar. You had the chicken noodle, the classic
chili they had.
Chili, and they had the cheese and broccoli, and there was one other one.
I think it was like a lobster bisque or something.
Oh yes, and I guess that's why I didn't remember it because
your defense mechanisms
I don't
blocked
go into
it out.
The seafood, yes.
But they separated in the side. The one side is your lettuce and all your regular salad fixing, all the tomatoes and the mushrooms and the cheese that you sprinkle on there. There was a noodle salad there. There was a cucumber salad. There was a shrimp salad there, but you went around the other side, and that was more of the fruit stuff, the mixed fruits, the pineapples, the.
They had a potato salad on that side.
Oh yeah, potato. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and you could go back as many times. And I went back too many times, but I was really hungry. I hadn't eaten since early in the morning. So when we got there, I went back a few times, and I have to tell you, it was good. It was fresh. It looked like the lettuce looked like it was fresh cut. I mean, everything. Sometimes you go in there, and as Sandra has pointed out to me, you can tell this is old. how can you tell us? You can see the brown around the edges, but I didn't see any of that. I mean, they had, whoever did the chopping and the prep, they had done a really good job.
Well, there was no wilted stuff there. They also had a wide selection of lettuces. You had romaine in a separate deal, plus the iceberg, and you also had spring mix type choices
and spinach leaves.
Spinach, yes, your favorite.
My
spinach.
favorite.
But you had all of the classic things: the cucumber, the tomato, and onions, and they even had beets that were pickled, which I love. And they had olives. They had the raisins, and I think they may have had even some cranberry, sweet dried cranberries on one side. But you had a lot of choices of dressings as well.
Yeah, I don't usually use dressings. I usually just pile some coleslaw on the top and call it a day, But there was a lot of choices there, and whether you want just the soup and the salad, you want burgers, they have bacon cheeseburgers, they have all kinds of burgers and fries, if that's the kind of thing you want. The Tharps, Ray and his dad Mark, really have done a wonderful job setting the place up, and the folks that come in to take the place over, really they've got a gold mine on their hands.
Well, as you walk in, to the left is tables and booths that face the road in the window, and so you have a great panoramic look there. Or you can go in the back where it seems like the groups go more. They have tables that have more like maybe 8-10 people at a table. But they also have wonderful desserts, as you noticed in the case, as you go in to tempt you and to make you think about it all during the meal.
And they have a bar there if that's your thing. They got a bar for you there. They have a banquet room in the back if you want to have a meeting of some description. I mean, they're prepared for just about anything you want to do when it comes to eating.
Well, and for us, and because we were there with a group, it was set up where they had put us there, where you had a place where you could sit and talk and didn't feel pushed out to move on. And so that's nice when you have a group going, and we did talk and enjoy our time there.
Yeah, the waitresses, they really good little waitresses. The one that we had, I asked her about Ray. That's how I found out it was for sale. She'd been working there for 30 years, so she really had seen a lot go on. So if you're in the Caladium Capital down there and you're looking for a place where everybody can go and probably get something that they want, and maybe even try some unusual things like, I don't know, the Italian style meatloaf. I mean, they've got all kinds of different things. And it's the kind of place when you go and you see the menu, you think, I got to come back and try something. There's a couple other things I want to try. You can't try them all at the same time.
Well, they had a large poster at the front talking about their fried chicken. Mm-hmm. And of course, even though Florida is not what you consider the deep South, fried chicken is still probably one of the favorite meats.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And they have surf and turf specials. If you want to get some seafood and some beef on the same plate, you can do that as well. It's a wonderful little place. And people ask us if we've ever found a kind of an undiscovered gem. And even though it's I guess, arguably part of the Golden Corral chain as a GC grill house, it's still, it's a go-to place if you want to go someplace and you want to make sure you're going to get something good.
And considering we're not the biggest buffet people,
no,
we, in the past year, we went to a Golden Corral in Orlando area, and I preferred this style a lot better because
absolutely
you could choose what you wanted, and you don't have that deal of, I've never liked buffets where people were always able to put their hands into things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so this is better. You get to order what you want. And of course, the salad bar is open, and it is a bar.
It was really, you have to kind of have some skill in putting your plate under the sneeze shield. It's pretty well protected when you go there. I mean, to be honest with you, it is. Yeah, I had to develop a skill for making sure it all got on a plate and getting it all underneath there. But still, it was like you say, people couldn't just pick things up and put them back down again.
For our taste, that we like better than the regular Golden Corral.
So I just want to let you know that again, we're recording this on a brand new rig that I got. As we continue to make this podcast better, I went on eBay and I bought another one of these Pile 6-channel mixers, and it was an experience. Everything was going really well until right up at the end when they bid me up right to my. I had said that I wasn't going to pay any more than this amount, and their spies must have heard, because they took me right up within 53 cents of of my top bid. I said, "What's your top bid?" And I put it in there, and so I got it for just under my top bid. They bid me up to the moon. It seems to be working pretty well. It works really well with these microphones. I got in these mic stands for the regular studio in case I had extra guests. So, but this works well at our desk. Sandra and I sit facing each other with our computers back to back, and so this it's set up pretty well and it works pretty well. And I have it set up for a mix minus. So if I want to take some phone calls here, so the studio works pretty well, I think, and it sounds pretty good.
Yes.
So, well, listen. Again, we will give you these 3 recommendations that we've been to. One is in Avon Park called the Bagel Bar at the corner of North Main and Anoka Street. It's right there as you turn off Highway 27. The Cang Tong restaurant, which is in Sebring, just south of the Sebring Parkway. It's in the Sebring Square Shopping Plaza. It's down in there. And did you know what that place was before it was the Cang Tong restaurant?
No.
It was a laundromat. It was a laundromat there. And then if you get down to the City of Charm, beautiful. If you get down to the Caladium capital, beautiful Lake Placid, Florida. I don't think we could recommend any place any higher than the GC Grill House. That was a great place to stop. You've been listening to the Barry Foster Show with my beautiful wife Sandra here on YouTube. Remember, if you have any thoughts, ideas, or suggestions, people that you want to have us talk to, or subjects you'd like to talk about, you can put them in the comments below. As always, if you want to send us an email, or if you'd like to sponsor the show, go to thebarryfostershow@gmail.com. As we continue to look for truth, justice, and the American way, this is Barry Foster, and we'll see you next time.